Chapter 1231. Break the Formation in Restrictions. Do we still have a chance? Jian Wushuang's face lit up, but then he frowned again. Even if you can think of other ways, Flame Deity Puppet has fallen into the hands of the Jin Kingdom monarch. If we don't have anything to hold the Jin Kingdom, we can't get near to the vortex. Correct. Samsara Temple Master and others also nodded. The Jin Kingdom monarch stayed in the black and white vortex, and according to their plan, Flame Deity Puppet would hold the Jin Kingdom monarch back to gain them some time. But now, Flame Deity Puppet had been lost. There stood the Jin Kingdom monarch. The moment they approach, he would kill them in an instant. The Jin Kingdom monarch is a top expert above the Universe Master level. I can't confront him. Xianxia smiled and continued, however, who says that you must get close to the core of the black and white vortex to break it? I will stay in this battle fortress and break the enduring samsara formation for you. What? Xianxia said it casually, but the people around him were all shocked. Break the enduring samsara formation behind the battle fortress? The core of the enduring samsara formation, the black and white vortex, was 100,000 miles away. Was it possible to destroy it far away from it under the protection of the restrictions? Was this some kind of joke? Xianxia Master, one who wants to destroy a formation, must first destroy the core of the formation. Now we're 100,000 miles away from the black and white vortex. How can we manage it? Palace Master Yun frowned and asked. He also had great knowledge of formation. Before he knew about Xianxia, he believed that he was the top master of formation in the Green Fire world. He knew about formation and contended that it would be impossible to break it from a distance. But Xianxia had said that. Can't we really destroy it without getting close to the core of the formation? I don't think so. Xianxia shook his head and smiled. Xianxia Master, are you really sure? Palace Master Yun still could not believe it. I'll try and you'll see. Anyway, you don't need to do anything for me. Even if I fail, there will be no consequences. Xianxia smiled. True. The palace masters who were present nodded. If Xianxia decided to break the formation behind the battle fortress, he naturally did not need soldiers to cover up for him or anything. My disciple. Xianxia looked at Jian Wushuang. Yes? Jian Wushuang acted respectfully. No matter how other palace masters thought of Xianxia, Jian Wushuang put his absolute trust in his own master. If he said that he could break the formation 100,000 miles away, he must have had a way. Haven't I granted you the mountain river map? I'll borrow it. Xianxia replied. Mountain river map. Jian Wushuang cocked one eyebrow. The mountain river map was the most precious of the three treasures that Xianxia gave him. It was a chaos divine treasure. Though it was somewhat defective, it was still invaluable. However, it was at a high level. Since Jian Wushuang obtained it, he had only used it once, in order to suppress Dao Yuanzi, and he had help from King Luozhan's essence blood to display it. Now, though he had reached the Dao master level, he still found it very difficult to utilize the mountain river map. Without hesitation, Jian Wushuang quickly took out the mountain river map and handed it to Xianxia. Master, do I need to cancel my ownership? Jian Wushuang asked. Under normal circumstances, treasures only performed the best in its owner's hands. Since Xianxia wanted to use the map, Jian Wushuang thought that he might need to cancel his ownership. Cancel your ownership? There's no need. Xianxia shook his head. If you cancel your ownership, my effort would have been futile. Futile? Jian Wushuang was shocked. He failed to follow his master. Don't worry, just stand here and watch me. Xianxia did not explain and slowly floated to the midair. Xianxia floated directly to the void above. He stayed close to the restrictions and stopped before he almost crashed into them. Numerous Green Fire world experts inside the battle fortress had witnessed him. The Celestial Masters and Dao Masters all looked in doubt. What is the master of Jian Wushuang, Master Xianxia, going to do? He seems to try to destroy the formation. But it's 100,000 miles away. How can he do it inside the battle fortress? I heard that Master Xianxia plans to destroy the formation just inside the battle fortress. Inside the battle fortress? What are you talking about? The celestial masters and Tao masters all looked in disbelief. All the palace masters were stunned and bore doubt in their hearts. Outside the battle fortress, at the core of the black and white vortex, the glamorous woman Zhu Shi, and the Jin Kingdom monarch hidden in the dark, also noticed the noise in the battle fortress. Despite the cover of the restrictions, they could still faintly see Xianxia drifting at the edge of them, and even saw Xianxia's realm. Eternal realm? What is the green fire world doing? The Jin Kingdom monarch and Zhu Shi were also baffled. At this time, Xianxia floated to the void above and flicked his hand. Then, a streak of flowing light shot into the void. That is. The Jin Kingdom monarch and Zhu Shi both watched the thing Xianxia threw out. It was a marvelous map. Xianxia stretched to unfold the map completely. Then, it instantly merged into the heavens and earth and disappeared. This move seemed quite eccentric. But suddenly, buzz! A strange light shone brightly on the ground, on the vast battlefield. Such a dazzling light attracted all the people present. The Jin Kingdom monarch and Zhu Shi also looked up. The endless sky above their heads started to change. What? Everyone was eye-widened and full of horror watching the changes in the sky. Even the Jin Kingdom monarch looked horrified at this moment. The vast sky had been completely replaced by a huge and wonderful world scroll. This world scroll seemed endless. The black and white vortex had already expanded a lot, but the world scroll occupied the entire sky. Vast aura spread slowly from within the world scroll. Chapter 1232, Big Move. This is. Everyone present widened their eyes and looked at the sky above in horror. They were looking at the huge world scroll. This world had mountains and waters and beautiful sceneries. The most striking thing was the 9 continents that spread over 9 different places, all of which looked real. A horrific and tremulous power spread. The Jin Kingdom monarch shouted, "Divine treasure! This is a chaos divine treasure." The Jin Kingdom monarch also looked unprecedentedly shocked. Even in the eternal chaotic world, only super experts could have one of them. At his level, under normal circumstances, he could only see 1 or 2 of the chaos magic treasures. Now, the world scroll appeared above him was obviously the power of a chaos divine treasure. Humph. So what if it's a chaos divine treasure? It's just someone in the eternal realm. Even if he has a chaos divine treasure, he can't display its full power. I'm afraid he can't depend on it to destroy the enduring samsara formation. Zhu Shi shouted coolly. Indeed, a chaos divine treasure was indeed strong, but the owner must be capable enough to play its full power. If one could not play the full power, it would still be as useless as eye candy. And just as everyone was in shock, Xianxia, who floated in the void above the battle fortress, smiled slightly. Then, with a flick of the wrist, he threw a strange bead that was as dark as ink. This bead seemed mysterious, and all the people present, including the experienced Jiyu King, failed to recognize it. Then, the black bead immediately merged into the world scroll. Immediately, the scroll changed. Boom! The huge world scroll let out a sudden roar. In the 4 directions of the world scroll, there were 4 spiraling huge vortexes. After the vortexes stabilized, the energy within them formed 4 giant hands. Then, the hands stretched from within the vortexes toward the enduring samsara formation lightning fast. This is. Jian Wushuang looked at it all in amazement. He has already claimed ownership of the mountain river map and was familiar with the ability of the mountain river map. As far as he knew, the most terrifying thing in the mountain river map was the 9-province seal formed by the 9 continents. But what Xianxia displayed was not something that belonged to the mountain river map. Jian Wushuang thought it might have something to do with the bead Xianxia threw out. 4 giants' hands suddenly came to the core of the black and white vortex, and seized the 4 most important positions of it. These 4 positions were exactly where Jian Wushuang, Sunrise Sword Emperor, and Jian Nanshan stood when they set the quadruple supreme sword formation. This was where the core of the enduring samsara formation laid, but now it was caught by the 4 giant hands. Damn! The glamorous woman, Zhu Shi's expression changed dramatically. When she saw Xianxia take out the chaos divine treasure, she did not pay much attention. But now the 4 giants had grasped the 4 most important parts of the formation, she became anxious. Master Jin Feng, quickly, destroy these 4 hands. Zhu Shi shouted repeatedly. All right. The Jin Kingdom monarch that hid at the core of the black and white vortex immediately nodded. He also realized that these 4 giants were really something. If he allowed them to continue, this formation would be in jeopardy. Kill! He shouted coldly, and terrifying power gathered on the spear. Immediately, the spear turned into lightning and directly slammed against the giant hand closest to him. Bam! With a bang, majestic power suddenly broke out and formed a blast wave, ruthlessly sweeping in all directions. The whole world even seemed trivial in front of this strong power. However, when the bang died down, the black giant hands still firmly clung to the void. Their sizes and power stayed the same as before. How can it be? The Jin Kingdom monarch was shocked. When he struck, he already went all out, but why did he still fail to destroy the black giant hands, or even not weaken them in the least? I won't accept it. The Jin Kingdom monarch looked cold. His golden robe fluttered in the wind, and his eyes flashed with intense lights. Then, swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. 3 consecutive lights struck the black giant hand in the same spot. Bam! 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 After 3 loud noises had died down, the black giant hand was still intact. What? He was stunned. He did his best and still failed to destroy this black giant hand? Then, he immediately understood that he could not stop the 4 giant hands. When the 4 black giants seized the 4 voids, bam! Roars sounded one after another. The heavens and earth were shaking, and the 4 dark giant hands burst out terrifying power to try to move the enduring samsara formation. Gosh! Isn't that crazy? In the battle fortress, countless Green Fire World experts who had witnessed this scene all looked shocked. The enduring samsara formation had been expanding and developing for a year. It had exceeded tens of millions large. It was a huge thing, but now Xianxia actually tried to move this big formation. Master, what is he going to do? Zhen Wushuang was in shock. Jiyu King inside his body stared and exclaimed. Zhen Wushuang, your master isn't breaking it. What? Zhen Wushuang was shocked. He isn't. Then what's he doing? He tries to refine it. He wants to refine the enduring samsara formation. Jiyu King sounded shocked. Zhen Wushuang widened his eyes. Refining the formation? Refine the enduring samsara formation that had already filled tens of millions of miles? How is this possible? Zhen Wushuang was completely shocked. Not only him, Palace Master Yun, who discerned Xianxia's intent, also froze. He didn't break the formation, but chose to refine it straight? How can he do this? This is simply crazy. Palace Master Yun was roaring madly in his heart. At the core of the black and white vortex, Zhu Shi looked completely in disbelief. To destroy it by refining it? How does an eternal realm try to refine my enduring samsara formation? Where does this crazy come from? Zhu Shi and Palace Master Yun were both confident of the formation. However, Xianxia's method of breaking the formation was completely beyond their imagination, even beyond their understanding of the formation. Chapter 1233. Big Move. Crazy. Xianxia's move was crazy in the eyes of many. However, no one could stop his craziness. The 4 black giants firmly grasped the most important 4 parts of the formation. The huge hands moved, and the immense formation actually moved upward gradually. Impossible! Zhu Shi screamed. She could not believe her eyes. An eternal realm actually drove this enduring samsara formation that had evolved for a year. One must know that not even the Jin Kingdom monarch was able to move this large formation with all his strength. This. Zhu Shi stuttered and could not utter a complete sentence. The 4 giants pulled the whole enduring samsara formation slowly upward. Although it was slow like a snail, it was indeed moving. At this speed, they could pull the formation into the world scroll in at most half of a day. Master wants to pull the enduring samsara formation into the mountain river map and refine it? Zhen Wushuang frowned. While the mountain river map is a chaos divine treasure, but it is still hard for it to contain the enduring samsara formation, right? No. At this time, Jiyu King spoke again, and he sounded even more terrified. Wrong. We guessed wrong. Wrong. Jian Wushuang was in doubt. When I saw him pulling the formation, I thought that he wanted to use the mountain river map to refine it to stop this crisis. But I never expected that your master had such a big move. Jiu King was very excited. He is not refining the formation. Not from the beginning. He is refining weapons. Refining weapons? Jian Wushuang was shocked. They only wanted to destroy the formation. How did he start to refine weapons? Jian Wushuang, your mountain river map is indeed a chaos divine treasure. However, it's a damaged chaos divine treasure. You know that, right? Jiu King said. Yes, indeed. Jian Wushuang immediately nodded, but at the next moment he just trembled. Is it? Jian Wushuang had already thought of a possibility, but this possibility left him in an unprecedented shock. Yes, your master is trying to use the formation to fix the mountain river map. He's refining weapons. He is repairing the mountain river map. Jiu King said in a low voice. Hearing this, Jian Wushuang was shocked. He was completely at a loss. The numerous Green Fire World experts, including Palace Master Yun, all failed to touch the formation. But his master not only wanted to destroy but also use this enduring samsara formation to repair the damaged chaos divine treasure. It was a skill that would startle the universe. In both the Green Fire World and the Eternal Chaotic World, the skill was incredible. Monster. Jian Wushuang, your master is a complete monster, and he must come from the Eternal Chaotic World. If he is born in the Green Fire World, no matter how talented he is, he will never require such refining and formation knowledge. Even the founder of Star Bloodline and the formation master King Luo Zhan can't do this. Your master is definitely a real refining master and a formation powerhouse. Jiu King was roaring wildly. Refining master. Formation powerhouse? Jian Wushuang widened his eyes. Master. In the Eternal Chaotic World, only the founder of the Star Bloodline and the 8-star ancient god King Luo Zhan were qualified to be called masters. Had his master really reached that level in terms of refining and formation? However, although your master possesses great skills, he is indeed only an eternal realm. If his power is only an eternal realm, how could he manage to release a skill like that with his weak body? Jiu King added. Jian Wushuang's eyes narrowed. He also thought of this and looked in the direction of Xianxia. Then, Jian Wushuang's countenance changed greatly. Xianxi's aura and his vitality were rapidly decreasing. He was losing his energy at an alarming rate. Master! Jian Wushuang immediately exclaimed. I guessed right. Jiu King nodded heavily. He not only used his spiritual power, but also his vitality. He let out all his strength to release the skill. When he succeeds, he will decrease. Decease? Jian Wushuang was awestruck this time. Xianxia seemed to notice Jian Wushuang's gaze. He was still pulling the enduring samsara formation. He turned his head slightly and looked at Jian Wushuang. He looked still calm and smiled affectionately. At the same time, his gentle voice rang. My disciple, I will soon disappear, and before that, I will finally give you another creation. Master! Jian Wushuang wanted to say something. Xianxia lifted his hand to stop him and said seriously, Don't, hurry up and do what I say. Yes. Jian Wushuang clasped his hands. Although he was grief-stricken, he suppressed his emotions hard. He knew very clearly that it was not the right time to be emotional. Xianxia broke the formation at all costs and paved the way for him. He could only inherit the creation level skill and reach the level his master expected to pay him back. My disciple, I had kept your ownership for this. Xianxi's voice was solemn. You still control the mountain river map, and through the map, you should be able to sense the essence of the enduring samsara formation. The essence is a huge creation for you. Learn it thoroughly. This is an opportunity one created for you and the Green Fire World. You must cherish it. The Green Fire World's survival depends on you. Chapter 1234, The Ultimate Battle. Depends on me. Hearing Xianxia, Jian Wushuang took a deep breath and tried his best to calm himself down. The next moment, he sat down directly and closed his eyes. The Green Fire World experts also heard Xianyi's words and knew that Xianyi created an opportunity for Jian Wushuang and for the Green Fire World at all costs. Thus, no one dared to disturb Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang immediately started to sense the formation through the mountain river map and the 4 black giant hands. Only a moment later, he sensed the complete existence of the enduring samsara formation. Before, Jian Wushuang just watched the enduring samsara formation in the distance. He could see that the formation consisted of 2 extreme energies in circulation. However, he could not see the essence of the 2 energies. But now, through the mountain river map and the 4 giant hands that clung to the entire formation, Jian Wushuang saw the 2 forces clearly. Only for a moment, he saw the essence of 2 extreme forces. The 2 forces. So familiar. Familiar. This is the extreme power of the yang and the yin. Jian Wushuang's mind went blank as if he had been struck by a lightning. He immediately understood why his master said that the essence of the enduring samsara formation was a creation for him. It was indeed a creation, a once-in-a-lifetime creation. It's a combination of the 2 extreme forces, the yin and the yang. This is exactly the same yin and yang forces of my yin-yang sword principle. Many things instantly crossed Jian Wushuang's mind. The yin-yang sword principle he developed was a perfect combination of yin and yang strength. It is the same. The only difference is that after the combination, the 2 forces of the yang and the yin in the formation formed a circulation and reached a balanced state. They are in a unique state, which is the very samsara. Jian Wushuang suddenly opened his eyes, which were full of intense light. I understand. I finally understand. A perfect combination of the 2 extreme yin and yang forces is samsara. When yin-yang sword principle reaches its peak, it becomes the samsara sword principle. Samsara. Jian Wushuang clenched both hands. He had devised 3 sword principles, among which the swordplay of coalescence and the space-time sword principle were already the strongest sword principles. However, he never had improved the yin-yang sword principle, and even failed to know how. Now he realized that, beyond yin and yang, it was samsara. The samsara sword principle. Jian Wushuang roared in his heart and closed his eyes. He became completely absorbed in the circulation of the enduring samsara formation. He already had a hunch that, as long as he understood the structure of the circulatory state, his space-time sword principle could be truly transformed into a samsara sword principle. At this moment, Jian Wushuang had cleared his head and became fully engaged in meditation. At the core of the black and white vortex, Jushi watched the formation being pulled into the world scroll but could do nothing. Jin Feng, do something. Jushi urged. Humph, you devised the formation. Not even you can stop it. What am I going to do? The Jin Kingdom monarch's face fell. He had just tried his best to stop but soon realized he had no chance to stop the 4 giant hands at all. It looks like that this formation will vanish soon. In the eyes of the Jin Kingdom monarch, there was a rush of coldness. He originally wanted to completely destroy the Green Fire World and all the experts in the battle fortress so that he could keep the entire battlefield to himself. But now, this plan was going to fail. The Jin Kingdom soldiers and strength were much stronger than those of the Green Fire World. He was supposed to destroy the Green Fire World. However, he could not kill all of their experts. At most, he could destroy the Green Fire World, but he could not kill all of their experts. Their experts could take shelter in the battle fortress. In the future, when he started to search for the treasures on this battlefield after the end of the war, those surviving experts might come out and cause troubles. These ants in the Green Fire World are really stubborn. Since I can't kill them all at once, then I have to wipe out the Green Fire World first. As for the remaining experts, I'll deal with them later. The Jin Kingdom monarch decided. Immediately he sent a message to the Jin Kingdom experts in the spaceship far away from the battlefield. He had ordered them to act. In moments, a large number of Jin Kingdom experts flew out from the spaceship. There were at least several thousand of them. Among them, even the weakest ones were Celestial Masters, and there were more than 100 Universe Masters. This was Jin Kingdom's real strength. It was obviously different from the previous tentative attack. This time, it was the real ultimate battle. The Jin Kingdom was determined to destroy the Green Fire World this time. When the Jin Kingdom experts flew out of the spaceship, the Green Fire World experts in the Battle Fortress all notice it. Even Palace Masters, including Samsara Temple Master and Void Temple Master, all looked grave at the sight of the rushing Jin Kingdom army. The final battle is finally coming? Palace Masters such as Samsara Temple Master and Void Temple Master all looked stern. The Green Fire World experts looked grave as well. Actually, if the enduring Samsara formation was destroyed in the end, they could totally take shelter inside the Battle Fortress, where the Jin Kingdom experts would never break into. Nevertheless, they all knew they could not avoid this war. After all, behind the Battle Fortress was the Green Fire World. If they did not fight, the Green Fire World would be finished. Their loved ones and good friends would be slaughtered by the Jin Kingdom. Billions of people in the Green Fire World and countless creatures would be killed. The land where they grew up and their homes would disappear completely. They had no choice. They had to fight. Before the Jin Kingdom army marched into the Green Fire World, they must stop them at all costs. Fight! 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 Numerous Green Fire World experts gathered on the perimeter of the Battle Fortress. The Dao Masters had already formed a tactical formation, determined. Chapter 1235, Bloodfire Elixir. Palace Master Yun, are the seeds of our Green Fire World ready? Samsara Temple Master looked at Palace Master Yun next to him. They are ready. Palace Master Yun replied with a serious nod. We have selected 1 million disciples from various forces, populations, and countries on Void Continent and Samsara Continent. We have accommodated them in a specially reserved place. We've opened our portal so that they can be transferred here anytime. 1 million? Samsara Temple Master and the other Palace Masters around him were dumbfounded. In the face of this type of calamity, they must prepare for the worst. 1 million genius disciples might seem adequate, but they were actually insignificant in the entire Green Fire World. One must know that on the Samsara Continent, some medium populations might have a population of more than 1 million. This was the best they could do. They could not get everyone inside the Battle Fortress. It could not hold that many people, but 1 million at most. Thus, they only chose some promising junior disciples. Palace Master Yun, I'll leave these disciples to you. Samsara Temple Master said in a low voice. If we win, then everything will be fine. But if we lose, the Green Fire World will die, and we will all die fighting. You must train these young disciples. In the future, you'll continue to fight the Jin Kingdom and bestow our wrath on them. Even if we're trapped beasts, we won't leave the Jin Kingdom peaceful on this battlefield in the following long years. I want to see those Jin Kingdom experts forever suffering from our wrath. I know. Palace Master Yun nodded gravely. They had already discussed the final battle. In this battle, all the top experts in the Green Fire World would fight with the Jin Kingdom. But however, Palace Master Yun had to stay. He had to govern the Battle Fortress and prepare for a future counterattack. Finishing his words, Samsara Temple Master took out 2 red gold elixirs. I have 2 elixirs. Samsara Temple Master spoke. These 2 red gold elixirs smelled disgusting like the smell of blood. Other Palace Masters all looked at the 2 elixirs. This elixir is called the Bloodfire Elixir. A long time ago, I found it on this battlefield and I got 4 of them. Samsara Temple Master continued, 5 million years ago, our Green Fire Palace has fought against them fiercely. We were supposed to lose that battle. In the end, we won and killed the Jin Kingdom Monarch's 1 consciousness doppelganger because our then 2 Palace Masters consumed Bloodfire elixirs. The Bloodfire elixir will burn your cultivation and life so that you can put up a fierce fight. Of course, it can also make you have a greater strength in a short time. Now there are 2 Bloodfire elixirs left. I will take one of them. I wonder who wants to take the other. Samsara Temple Master smiled and looked around. Other Palace Masters all frowned. The Bloodfire elixir was so deadly that even these Palace Masters were a bit scared. But at this time, 3 figures darted out. They were Void Temple Master, Tang Emperor, and Red Lotus Palace Master. Perhaps those newly born Palace Masters feared this elixir, but they would not hesitate. Why? Are you 2 going to take away my elixir? Samsara Temple Master looked at the person next to Tang Emperor and Red Lotus Palace Master. Haha, I've already seen my best days. I'll never compare with the Jin Kingdom monarch. Now there's this opportunity for me to do something helpful. How will I give up? Tang Emperor smiled. I've lived my life. If I have one chance to surge my strength before I die, I'll happily take it. Red Lotus Palace Master also laughed. Void Temple Master, Tang Emperor, and Red Lotus Palace Master had prepared to die. Although they sounded casual, every one of them knew what it meant to swallow the elixir. Their strength would soar rapidly, but they would pay with their lives. Time waits for no one, I'll be the judge. Void, you've lived long like me, and your strength is better. I'll give you the elixir. We'll make the Jin Kingdom hurt. Samsara Temple Master said. Sure. Void Temple Master smiled and took the Bloodfire elixir. Tang Emperor and Red Lotus Palace Master exchanged glances and both sighed. Void, after I swallow the Bloodfire elixir, I will hold back the Jin Kingdom as long as possible. Then, when you've swallowed the elixir, you'll kill as many Jin Kingdom experts as possible. As for the remaining experts, you'll need to gain us time as well. We have to hold on until Jian Wushuang wakes up. Samsara Temple Master said solemnly. The present Palace Masters looked at Jian Wushuang unanimously. During their discussion, Jian Wushuang was still meditating. Seeing him, the Palace Masters all smiled. They knew very clearly that Jian Wushuang would be their last hope. As long as Jian Wushuang broke through, they would have the chance to turn the tables on the Jin Kingdom. Samsara Temple Master, the Jin Kingdom experts will soon bypass the battle fortress. Another Palace Master reminded. Samsara Temple Master's face became cold. If that's the case, let's fight to the death. Green Fire World soldiers, let's kill. Samsara Temple Master shouted the word kill emotionlessly. The soldiers in the battle fortress all echoed him roaring. Kill! 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 Their roaring could almost shake the world. On the perimeter of Battle Fortress, a portal leading to the outside appeared. In the Green Fire World, except Jian Wushuang and Palace Master Yun, all the top experts, all Palace Masters, Celestial Masters, and Dao Masters did not flinch from their enemies. Following Samsara Temple Master and Void Temple Master through the portal, they rushed outside to confront the Jin Kingdom army. Everyone had prepared to die. Everyone was crazy. They must fight against the Jin Kingdom to the death. Chapter 1236. Fight to the death. Kill. With bursts of screaming, the Green Fire World experts ran out through the portal. The Palace Masters led the way, a number of Celestial Masters were in the middle of the parade, and finally, numerous Dao Masters in back formed tactical formations. Like a group of wasps, they flocked to the army of the Jin Kingdom. Oh! They actually came out? Hovering in the void, the Jin Kingdom monarch watched all this with a hint of a smile on his lips. He had been trying to find ways to kill all the Green Fire World experts inside the battle fortress. He wanted to get rid of any possible future trouble when he searched for treasure on this battlefield. However, now, they came out on their own. Well, if that's the case, I would have saved a lot of troubles. He smirked, and immediately ordered, kill them all. The Jin Kingdom army shouted receiving this order. They all looked very excited and bloodthirsty. They had been going in the direction of the Green Fire World. Now they immediately changed the direction and rushed toward the Green Fire World experts who just came out of the battle fortress. The two unmatched armies confronted in moments. Boom! 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 The thunder of roars sounded in the sky. The space shattered directly, and a large number of blast wave formed a horrible storm, rampant in the world. In the first round of confrontation, numerous experts from both parties died. Even 4 Universe Masters were killed on the spot. Humph! Samsara Temple Master was covered under a black armor. His body expanded and transformed into an ancient fierce beast. He snorted and slammed his giant hand. Splash! A lightning-fast claw cracked the world and torn a Universe Master apart in its way. All the Jin Kingdom bastards should die. Covered in his black armor and overwhelming killing intent, Samsara Temple Master led the troops. He stormed through the Jin Kingdom troops and had been unstoppable everywhere. Besides Samsara Temple Master, Void Temple Master bore the same overwhelming killing intent. He held 2 gold wheels and had turned them into 2 flashes of lightning, sailing in the void and targeting at 2 Universe Masters. The 2 Universe Masters panicked and immediately tried their best to ward off the flashes of lightning, but still, one of them was seriously injured and even lost an arm. In a green robe, the indifferent and serious Jian Nantian stared coldly at a Jin Kingdom Universe Master in his way and raised his long sword. Dream chasing, Jian Nantian murmured. An inexplicable dreamy atmosphere spread out. It felt sorrowful, ethereal, but at the same time, it was so sharp that no one could stop it. Jian Nantian used to use the dream chasing to crush every obstacle in his way and reach the heaven-ceasing peak to find Ji Wuming when the ancient demon clan were chasing after him. Now, he played the swordplay once again. Clang! An icy sword light shot out, without any trace of strong power. It silently appeared in front of the Jin Kingdom opponent, and then glided over him. With a streak of red color, the body of the Jin Kingdom Universe Master quietly fell down. Splash! A huge blood river pervaded the entire battlefield. Red Lotus Palace Master's eyes flashed fiercely. He was burning spiritual power to support the entire Juyu realm, trying to put any much pressure as possible on the Jin Kingdom experts. Of course, they were not alone. The Green Fire World experts had all tried their best by now. One by one, they rushed forward and fought the enemy fiercely. They were all trying their best. All of them. But at this moment, the Jin Kingdom monarch in the distance glanced at the huge battlefield in front of him. He slightly tilted his mouth and suddenly sprang out. He was extremely good at hiding himself. In the entire Green Fire world, nothing could detect him except Jian Wushuang's strength of soul. But now Jian Wushuang was meditating, thus no one was watching him anymore. Swoosh! He showed up on the battlefield out of thin air and happened to appear behind a Green Fire World Palace Master. It was Palace Master Su Qian. He was the upper elder of the Blood Azura clan on Samsara continent and was also Su Ru's master. He used to be a celestial master in Exceptional Realm. Later, he got a Nirvana elixir and became a universe master. At this moment on the battlefield, Su Qian's long hair scattered and his eyes were scarlet. He was fighting fiercely against the Jin Kingdom enemies. However, the Jin Kingdom monarch showed up so suddenly that Su Qian did not have the time to react. The monarch stabbed him in the chest. Before he made any sound, his life vanished. Palace Master Su Qian. The surrounding Green Fire World experts noticed him and became terrified. Be careful, it is the Jin Kingdom monarch. He came, run quickly. Roars sounded on the battlefield. Samsara Temple Master and Void Temple Master witnessed the killing as well. Samsara. Void Temple Master groaned. Leave him to me. Samsara Temple Master grunted. His eyes were the only things that were not covered under his armor, now they turned red. He opened his mouth and slammed the blood fire elixir into his stomach. He shook and doubled his body in size. Under the black armor, his face was completely distorted. His veins on the forehead, the arms, all bulged viciously. His pupils turned into blood red like a blood sea. At this moment, Samsara Temple Master had completely transformed into an ancient fierce beast. He fixed his blood sea-like eyes upon the Jin Kingdom monarch in the distance, and at the next moment he dashed out overwhelmingly. The Jin Kingdom monarch. Teeth gritted, Samsara Temple Master's endless resentment sounded throughout the battlefield. After the Jin Kingdom monarch casually killed Palace Master Su Qian, he looked at the nearby Red Lotus Palace Master. Red Lotus Palace could control the Juyu realm and put great realm pressure on the Jin Kingdom. At that moment, the Jin Kingdom monarch was about to kill Red Lotus Palace Master as he killed Palace Master Su Qian. But at this time, the resentful voice arrived. Chapter 1237. Combine 3 strongest sword principles. Well, just as the Jin Kingdom turned around, he saw the Samsara Temple Master turned black fierce beast going at him. He squinted and drew the long spear and penetrated the void easily. Boom! A fierce roar sounded. He felt a huge force coming through the spear. He looked slightly surprised and immediately took a few steps back. After a while, he managed to get back on his feet again. Then, the Jin Kingdom monarch immediately looked at Samsara Temple Master. A universe master has actually forced me back. Interesting. The Jin Kingdom monarch smirked. I wonder what kind of elixir you swallowed or what secret skill you used. Samsara Temple Master fixed his red eyes upon the Jin Kingdom monarch but did not answer the question. Instead, he shouted coolly, "The Jin Kingdom monarch, go to hell." Boom! Samsara Temple Master once again rushed forward. This time he turned into a huge black mountain. Terrifying power burst out again. Well, the power is not bad, but tell me, how long can you last in this state? The Jin Kingdom monarch smirked, and then rushed toward him. Bam! The Jin Kingdom monarch once again confronted Samsara Temple Master, but this time Samsara Temple Master was knocked around. Although Samsara Temple Master had swallowed the blood fire elixir and greatly increased his power, but he was still only a universe master who could not compare to the Jin Kingdom monarch. At most, he could only take a few blows from the latter. However, his armor was really endurable. Therefore, he managed to have taken a few more blows from the Jin Kingdom monarch. In that way, at the very least, the Jin Kingdom monarch could not fight as freely as he wanted. Moreover, with help from the Green Fire World experts, he could gain more time by holding up the Jin Kingdom monarch. When the two camps fought, in the battle fortress, Jian Wushuang still sat there, eyes closed. He was still meditating on the enduring samsara formation. During the meditation, he resolved many doubts and started to see clearly how the swordplay of yin-yang evolved. At last. Balance. This is the balance. Yin and yang combine to form an endless circulation. I've devised the samsara sword principle. Boom! A horrible sword essence rose from him. Similar to the enduring samsara formation, they both contained two extreme forces. These two extreme forces had been perfectly combined to form a complete circulation. And this circulation built the endless samsara. Since then, after the coalescent sword principle and spacetime sword principle, Jian Wushuang had finally created the third strongest sword principle, the samsara sword principle. Just after inventing the samsara sword principle, he immediately discovered that the three most powerful sword principles had already begun to merge. Yes, they were merging. Back then, Jian Wushuang spent a lot of time and energy trying to find a way to integrate them, but in vain. Now, when he finally devised the samsara sword principle, these three strongest sword principles automatically begin to merge. Merge the sword principles and acquire the immortal Dharma body. This is the road to be a celestial master. They just integrate. Jiyu King, who was in Jian Wushuang's body, also noticed the change, and could not help but secretly exclaim. He just devised the third strongest sword principle, and they immediately began to merge? This was too coincidental. No, this is no coincidence. Jiyu King shook his head. Back then, when the ultimate war was about to start, he has already begun to try to integrate them. He must have wanted to break through before the final battle, but he didn't. Not that he didn't want to, but he couldn't have done it. He used to be at a loss because it seemed impossible to make the coalescent sword principle and the spacetime sword principle integrate. But now, when he devised the samsara sword principle, the three strongest sword principles immediately began to merge. This is no coincidence. This is the characteristics of the samsara sword principle itself. Samsara is about integrating two extreme forces and maintaining a balanced circulation. This principle is consistent with the integration of the three strongest sword principles. Jiyu King immediately understood. The samsara sword principle was supposed to blend two extreme forces into a perfectly balanced circulation. The three sword principles would be perfectly balanced as well. Their nature was exactly the same. Jian Wushuang devised the samsara sword principle, and at the same time realized the combination law of sword principle. Therefore, his three strongest sword principles naturally began to merge because everything had fallen into place. Combine three strongest sword principles and acquire the immortal Dharma body. How strong would the immortal Dharma body be? He's actually an inverse cultivator. Jiyu King clasped his hands firmly, and his heart was filled with wild expectations. He couldn't help but look at the mysterious Xianxia above and became more shocked. In his eyes, Jian Wushuang was a 100 monster with enormous potential. Now he had merged the three strongest sword principles. His future would be more promising. Ji King had witnessed Jian Wushuang's growth all the way and had expected the fusion of the three strongest sword principles. However, Xianxia was different. He was greatly shocked by Xianxi's skill today. Xianxia, he is really in defiance of the natural order. It seems that he simply wanted to pull the enduring samsara formation into the map. However, in fact, he has killed 3 birds with 1 stone. First, he saved the green fire world from the enduring samsara formation. Second, he has repaired the mountain river map for Jian Wushuang. Last, he also created a great creation, a rare opportunity, for Jian Wushuang. These 3 results are all part of his plan. If Jian Wushuang manages to save the green fire world in the end, it will be the 4th bird of his plan. I used to follow King Luo Zhan in the eternal chaotic world, and have seen a lot of great powerhouses display many skills, but it was rare to see skills like Xianxi's. He's really great. Jian Wushuang's master is really great. Ji King thought and could not help but admire Xianxia in his heart. At this moment, his 3 strongest sword principles had begun to merge because of the invention of the samsara sword principle. In a short period of time, they had been completely integrated, and then, his transformation began. Chapter 1238. Leave Early. Martial arts cultivation was about accumulating. A Tao master only needed to develop a Tao that belonged to himself. A celestial master, however, needed to combine 3 Taos to form an immortal Dharma body. The immortal Dharma body transformed one's body. Since Jian Wushuang's 3 strongest sword principles had been merged, his body naturally began to turn. The transformation was fundamental. Jian Wushuang kept his eyes closed, but at this moment he could clearly feel his body undergoing major changes. His flesh and blood, his bones and countless cells throughout his body, were all strengthening in every second. This feeling, Jian Wushuang felt comfortable and happy. He immersed himself in this transformation. However, on the battlefield outside, the 2 camps were still fighting brutally. It had almost a quarter since the beginning of the battle. During the time, countless Green Fire World experts madly fought against the Jin Kingdom soldiers. They had been desperately resisting the Jin Kingdom's attack. Countless experts had deceased consequently. There used to be 1,000 battle formations formed by Tao masters when they left the battle fortress. Now, after a quarter, less than 300 of them remained. In other words, 700 battle formations had already broken down. As soon as a battle formation was torn apart, most of the Tao masters were ruthlessly killed by the Jin Kingdom. Only less than 10 of the experts luckily escaped and returned to the battle fortress. After that, without a recovery, they would immediately form a new battle formation with other remaining Tao masters. When the new battle formation was formed, they would immediately set off again. The previous 1,200 celestial masters had also decreased to less than 500 of them. The remaining celestial masters, although heavily injured in body and strength, still fought on. As long as they survived, they would do their utmost to make the Jin Kingdom suffer. As for the palace masters at the level of universe master, nearly half of them had died. The remaining universe masters went on killing. Kill them all. The whole world darkened because of the terrifying killing. On the vast battlefield, there had been numerous bodies beyond recognition. The entire ground was covered in blood like a blood sea. It was appalling. Boom! A thunderous sound banged. With the bang, a blast wave spread. A nearby Green Fire World Celestial Master and 2 Jin Kingdom Celestial Masters did not dodge it. Within the range of the blast wave's power, they were smashed into blood fog and floated downward. Humph! Fully covered in a black armor, Samsara Temple Master grunted like an ancient fierce beast. He tried hard to slow his pace in the void. His face was still red, and his face under the black armor had been distorted completely. At the same time, he was also quivering with rage, as if he could collapse at any time. Go on, don't stop. Sneering in the void, the Jin Kingdom monarch held his spear calmly, tongue cheek. Samsara Temple Master had been fighting against him. Now, Samsara Temple Master had obviously stretched to the limit. However, The Jin Kingdom monarch looked as calm as ever, and his aura was still great and aggressive. Seeing this, Samsara Temple Master bit his lips. His eyes were filled with endless anger and unwillingness. Is this my best? Although unwilling to admit it, Samsara Temple Master knew very clearly about his current state. The blood fire elixir's strength almost ran out, and his life was drawing to an end. Now, he could only strike one more time. Ha ha! Samsara Temple Master suddenly raised his head and laughed heartily. He laughed hysterically but looked more determined than ever. On the battlefield, all Green Fire World experts turned their heads hearing Samsara Temple Master laugh. Void, Tang Emperor, Red Lotus, and everyone in the Green Fire World. Samsara will leave early. When he finished, he aura surged. Once again, he rushed toward the Jin Kingdom monarch like a fierce beast. The last counterattack before you die. The Jin Kingdom monarch made fun of him and was ready to kill Samsara Temple Master once and for all. However, by the time Samsara Temple Master approached, before the Jin Kingdom monarch struck, burst. A roar rang through the void, followed by a thunderous bang. One of the oldest palace masters in the Green Fire World, Samsara Temple Master, blew up himself. Seeing this, the Green Fire World experts were all crying in their hearts. Their hearts ached so much that they seemed to bleed with endless grief. But soon, they turned this grief into bitter feelings of resentment. Then they did their utmost to make the Jin Kingdom experts suffer. Kill. Kill this bunch of bastards. Jin Kingdom, prepare to die. Roars resounded through heaven and earth. The already fierce battlefield became crazier. Samsara. Void Temple Master stood in the void and watched Samsara Temple Master explode. He was shaking. Then, he took out his blood fire elixir. Without hesitation, he swallowed it. As soon as he swallowed the blood fire elixir, his aura also skyrocketed. Jin Kingdom. Resentfully, Void Temple Master directly rushed toward the Jin Kingdom monarch. Having been affected by the explosion of Samsara Temple Master, the Jin Kingdom monarch stopped briefly to collect himself as Void Temple Master rushed toward him. Again. Humph. The Jin Kingdom monarch was finally provoked. He immediately struck out. Although he was not as good as Samsara Temple Master, he did try his best to gain them more time with the help of the blood fire elixir. After a while. Bang! Another violent explosion sounded. Brother Samsara. I'll go with you. Following Samsara Temple Master, Void Temple Master exploded himself as well. Both two overlords on the Green Fire World had fallen. At the moment, in the battle fortress, Jian Wushuang sat cross-legged on the ground. Finally, he was in the final step of the transformation. Chapter 1239, Fury Makes You Lose It. Inside the battle fortress. Bam! Jian Wushuang had been violently shaking, but now, he finally quieted down. After he fully calmed himself, Jian Wushuang's body took on a faint golden glow. This golden glow came with expansive aura. This is the divine light? Jiyu King was shocked. How is it possible? Didn't he combine 3 strongest sword principles and acquire the immortal Dharma body? How can there be a divine light? Didn't he cultivate the immortal divine body instead of the immortal Dharma body? Knowledgeable as Jiyu King, he could not help but find Jian Wushuang's change shocking. Combine the sword principles, cultivate the immortal Dharma body, and finally become a celestial master. After that, transform the immortal Dharma body for the second time, form the immortal divine body, and become a universe master. The body of a universe master was already a real deal divine body. But now, Jian Wushuang's body took on a golden divine light, which only belonged to an immortal divine body. After the transformation, Jian Wushuang's body had exceeded the immortal Dharma body and became an immortal divine body. With the immortal divine body, Jian Wushuang did not fall into the category of celestial master anymore, but a universe master. He had become a universe master in leaps and bounds. Is that what an inverse cultivator can do? Jiyu King gasped. In addition, he not only transformed his body, but also the soul fire within his sea of consciousness. The soul fire inside him had been very fragile, but after the transformation, the soul fire was more than 10 times stronger than before. The soul power was completely transformed as well. Inside the battle fortress, sitting on the ground cross-legged, Jian Wushuang finally opened his eyes. At the moment, a fierce light shot out. It was so sharp that it could even chill a universe master's bones. Then, the fierce light directly tore apart the void in its way. Jian Wushuang slowly stood up, and he heard his bones crackling. He had not sat for a long time, but he felt as if he had been sitting for hundreds of millions of years. Jian Wushuang, how are you feeling now? Ji King suddenly asked. How am I feeling now? Jian Wushuang paused and continued, I feel very strong. Strong? Ji King was dazed. However, Jian Wushuang just ignored him and flew out. Soon, he showed up outside the battle fortress. Jian Wushuang appeared on the battlefield. He stood in the void on the top and brought forth the strength of soul from his sea of consciousness. Immediately, he had covered the vast battlefield with his soul power. Everyone and everything on the battlefield were projected in his mind. At the same time, people on the battlefield immediately spotted him. Jian Wushuang. Palace Master Wushuang. It is Palace Master Wushuang. On the battlefield, numerous people exclaimed and fixed their eyes on Jian Wushuang. Shuang'er. At the core of the battlefield, a cyan-dressed man who was surrounded by 4 universe masters looked up in the direction of Jian Wushuang. This man was no other than Jian Wushuang's master, Jian Nantian. At this moment, only his upper half body remained. His legs had been cut off. However, he still managed to fight against 4 Jin Kingdom universe masters. When he saw Jian Wushuang, he smiled thoughtfully. Jian Wushuang. The white-haired Tang Emperor, who grew a cinnabar mole between his eyebrows, was covered in blood. His aura had decreased to the lowest point. The elixir's strength and his resentment supported him to continue killing. At this moment, Tang Emperor also looked at Jian Wushuang. On the ground below, Emperor Xiao, who had broken through to be a celestial master, laid in a pool of blood. Only half of his body remained, but he managed to survive. He was trying his best to heal himself, in order to get on the battlefield again, to kill the Jin Kingdom experts again. When Jian Wushuang walked out of the battle fortress, Emperor Xiao saw him too. Jian Wushuang, my good son-in-law, you finally wake up. In a place on the battlefield, a man and a woman were leaning against each other. Around them, 13 Jin Kingdom experts gathered. They were Yang Zixuan and Su Ru. Yang Zixuan had completely changed to a dragon man. Su Ru had opened her azure eyes as well. Their auras looked weak. Obviously, they had reached a point where they could not carry on. But now, they all saw Jian Wushuang in the distance. Then, Yang Zixuan and Su Ru both smiled. Brother, we've been waiting for you for a long time. Covered in blood, a man beyond recognition stood in the center of the battlefield. He held a saber in one hand, and a battle axe in the other. He used 2 magic weapons to fight against the Jin Kingdom experts. He was Jian Wushuang's senior brother, Lingtian. Lingtian used sabers. The battle axe he held used to belong to the deceased Bai Hu. Among Jian Wushuang's 3 senior brothers, only Lingtian survived. Junior brother, it's your turn. Jian Wushuang. Palace Master Wushuang. Everyone from the Green Fire world looked at Jian Wushuang. He was their last hope. Jian Wushuang had witnessed everything on the battlefield. He saw their weak auras, their moanings, and lingering hope. He could even hear the whole Green Fire world roaring. At the same time, he also sensed the already lost, disappeared auras. Samsara Temple Master, Void Temple Master, Red Lotus Palace Master. Jian Wushuang murmured. 3rd senior brother, Emperor Yun, Huiqiong, Palace Master Su Qian, Patriarch of Empyrean Glory, and Ape Celestial Master. Do we lost all of them? Jian Wushuang clenched both hands, and his heart was beating violently. Boom! 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 His heart beat like a drum. Gradually, Jian Wushuang's face was twisting. The Jin Kingdom. Jian Wushuang roared, even his soul spat these 2 words. Fury. Unprecedented fury filled Jian Wushuang's mind and soul in an instant. Fury could make him lose it. Chapter 1240, One stroke that could crumble the world. The Jin Kingdom. A thunder of roar echoed in the ears of all Jin Kingdom experts. They all looked up and noticed Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang? Holding a spear in the center of the battlefield, the Jin Kingdom monarch saw Jian Wushuang and squinted. He could sense the change of aura on Jian Wushuang. Has he broken through? But the battle will end soon. He is late. The Jin Kingdom monarch was highly confident. In this ultimate battle, the Green Fire world was actually in a disadvantaged position. Now, they were even more imperiled. Only a small number of Green Fire world experts were still struggling. At this time, even if he broke through, even if he was able to compete with him, so what? The die was cast. How can Jian Wushuang alone change anything? But at this moment, under everyone's eyes, Jian Wushuang shook. In his sea of consciousness, the improved soul fire had been burning wildly. In an instant, immense soul power poured out like a tide. Clang! Immaterial soul power swept in all directions and covered the entire battlefield like a realm. All experts on the battlefield could clearly sense a force around themselves. This kind of power was strange and unreachable, but they could feel the existence of this power. What is he going to do? Many experts on the battlefield looked doubtful and failed to understand Jian Wushuang's behaviors. At this moment, Jian Wushuang looked ferocious with his immense killing intent. He coldly stared at the Jin Kingdom experts on the battlefield. All Jin Kingdom experts, die! Just at the moment when he finished his sentence, the soul power that had filled the entire battlefield burst out to form numerous soul spikes. Then, they directly rushed to the nearest Jin Kingdom experts. Massacre! This was the largest massacre with the soul power. Only people who had ignited their soul fire and improved it to a certain level could do this. Before the transformation, he couldn't display it. But when he had combined the 3 strongest sword principles, he had greatly improved his soul fire. Now, it was time to exert himself to display the move. This move affected the entire battlefield. It affected all Jin Kingdom experts on the battlefield. The move contained the entire Green Fire world's endless fury and the resentment that accumulated over the past 5 million years. The move was the biggest counterattack Jian Wushuang performed at the brink of the fall of the Green Fire world. It was one stroke that could crumble the world. The soul spikes formed by the soul power swept every Jin Kingdom experts on the battlefield. Then, they instantly pierced their skins. Buzz! Everything was quiet. The soul power attack was supposed to be silent, without any noise. In the silence, the remaining nearly 2,000 Jin Kingdom experts on the battlefield widened their eyes. Celestial Masters and Universe Masters all gawked and froze in the middle of the air. No one spoke, and no one made a sound. The entire battlefield fell silent. This strange scene left the Green Fire world experts in great shock. What happened? What happened to the Jin Kingdom experts? Why are they frozen? People was puzzled and in doubt. All the Jin Kingdom experts' time seemed to pause. Of course, this pause only lasted for a moment. Soon, Red's now king in the crowd quickly regained his consciousness. Consciousness attack, a strong consciousness attack. Red's now king secretly admired, and turned around. Behind the Red Snow King, there were supposed to be several celestial masters in exceptional realm. However, when Red's now king turned around, he grew pale. He found they were quiet. Dead. Red's now king was startled. However, this was just the beginning. Buzz! When the soul power completely dispersed, the world became audible again. But at the next moment, a creepy scene appeared. In the void on the battlefield. Splash! Numerous bodies fell to the ground like raindrops. After that, there was no more noise. Too many bodies had fallen to the ground. Originally, there were nearly 2,000 Jin Kingdom experts on the battlefield. But now, 9/10 of them had turned into raindrops that fell to the ground. Only those stronger Universe Masters remained above in the void. Within moments, among a large number of Jin Kingdom experts, only several top experts remained. Deafening silence. The vast world fell completely silent. No sound was heard. The remaining Jin Kingdom experts on the battlefield and many unaffected Green Fire world experts all looked scared, even stunned. They all stared at the ground below. None of the Jin Kingdom experts who fell to the ground rose up again. They stayed there forever. Dead. They are all dead. A green fire whirled murmured. All Jin Kingdom experts who fell to the ground died. None of them survived. There had nearly been 2,000 experts. In an instant, only a few dozens of universe masters lasted. All celestial masters had all deceased. No! Impossible! Dream. This must be a dream. I don't accept this. When the remaining Jin Kingdom experts finally collected themselves, they screamed and roared. They were roaring in disbelief. Even the calm Jin Kingdom monarch looked terrified in disbelief. His 2,000 celestial masters were killed in an instant? What was this skill? How did Jian Wushuang manage to use this skill? How could he utilize such an incredible skill? How did he do it?